Okay, so in this project, we are again going to be dealing with scaling. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take an image that doesn't fit into the aspect ratio that you need it to be, and we're going to find a solution or a workaround that's going to make it show the entirety of its picture and still, not look awkward with like weird black bars on the side. So I'm going to jump into Photopea over here, and I'm going to start off by creating a new project. So this new project that we're going to create is going to be, let's say, an Instagram size photo. So 1080 by 1080 in pixels with a resolution of 72 dpi or dots per inch. We'll go ahead and click create. So in this scenario, we have an image that is portrait. It's not square. It's not a 1-to-1 aspect ratio. We're actually going to use the Michael Jordan image that we used in a previous project. And so we're going to go to open and place. And so open and place is going to put the asset into the canvas as you are about to see. So we'll go to graphics. We're going to go to August, and we're going to use that same image that we used before. We'll go ahead, we'll click open, and you're going to see that it places here in our canvas, and I'm going to resize it by grabbing the corner and holding shift, and I want to resize it so that's as tall as my canvas, like so. And I'm going to commit the change, and you'll see that it just doesn't fit because it's in the middle here, like so. Notice I'm about a pixel shy, so I'm going to click my transform controls with my move tool. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger so that it's 180 pixels, holding shift and commit that change. But again, we still have the space on the edge that doesn't look quite right. So what we're going to do in order to address that is we are going to duplicate this layer, and then the background layer right here we're going to have to rasterize, and we're going to transform it again. So notice I have that background or that middle layer selected now, and if I hold the Alt or Option key, I can resize this from the middle outward, and if I hold Shift, I can maintain the aspect ratio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size of this significantly, like so, and I'm going to commit that change, and then I'm going to add some blur effects. So if I go to Filter and I go to Blur, I'm going to add a Gaussian blur, and what that's going to allow me to do is set like how extreme that blur is. I'm going to push this, sort of experiment a little bit right here. 200 is way too much. 53 is probably too much, but probably in like the 20s, which I could actually just type that number right here. So let me just knock that down to like 20, and anywhere in the 20s is probably going to be fine. There we go. I'm going to hit OK. There we go. I think that I can still sort of see the background. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to do a couple other things to really make this pop a little bit further. I'm going to hide my transform controls because it's a little bit distracting. I'll zoom in just a little bit using my scroll wheel and the Alt trick. I'm going to add a layer adjustment that is going to be a brightness and contrast adjustment. I'm just going to increase the brightness just a little bit right in here, just so that that foreground pops a little bit. And finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image and I'm going to add an effect. And the effect that I'm going to add is a drop shadow. And it's just going to create a little bit more depth and separation. And you can see it right in there. And I'm going to increase the opacity just a little bit here so that it really pops and separates. You can really see it there. I'm going to increase the spread. Actually, no, I'm going to lower that spread. I'm going to increase the size, though, right here. It's going to make it just a little bit softer, and I'll go ahead and hit OK. So now I can save this as a PST or a JPEG. I still get to see the entirety of the image, the source, the asset, but it's going to take up the full format, which I have in this case is the 1080 by 1080 Instagram post. So save this as a PST, export it as a JPEG, and that's it.